Here the DLL, once we have the library, this is a library in object browser. So in this view menu, there we can have object browser. So once we expand this, this is a books library. So namespace is book library, and expand this class name. So what is the class name? Books details. Now expand this particular books details in the left side, right hand side books details. Here this is a constructor. By default it is creating, and this is get books. Double click. So it is going to have all the basic types here, and this books details is going to receive, get books is going to receive the book ID integer. Now what is the return type? Return type is data set. So you can observe that we can call this method and we can pass this data type of the parameter, and we are going to expecting the result from here as this. But you cannot see the code, but you can see the skeleton. What is a method, how many values it is expecting, and what type of data it is returning back to us. Everything we can take the help of object browser over here. Okay, in this view menu, there we can have object browser, and this object browser is going to display the skeleton for libraries. Now here is 1000. We can click on go. So now it is creating an object. See, automatically it is jumping to library. So this is the project is jumping to library. So what is the library name? Booksdetails.cs. So here we open the project. It is locating to the library first. So whenever we created a project, global variables, declarations, whatever we have created, that will run. So connection will be established once we created an object. And then we created a temporary buffer. Now which text we entered here, the text box value, get books. So now we can receive that book ID and take the command, and we can pass that book ID to the database, and what data is coming from the backend that we can fill here. And move the mouse pointer on this DS, and you just click on one small icon, search type icon, click on this. You can observe whether data is coming or not. So this is a row of information. Book name is this, book ID is this, quantity is this. So it is returning from the library. Now we are going to fill that information to here. Now we just move the mouse pointer on DS, and then we can see. So it is showing. So data we are sent from here as text box ID, and we got the result of row information. But what behind we cannot see. Just we created an object for the class and we just call the method. And now at least one row is there or not, we can identify. Now the count is only 1. The rows are coming from the backend is only 1. So here the row. So this is the first row. Now this row has items. This is a count, and this is list of items. How many number of list it is coming, that we can say item array. Now this item array has 3 elements. 0th item name, and the first item cost, second item quantity. So this 0, 1, 2 we are assigning here. So this is a 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So now we can have an idea of this. And we know the functionality, no need of debugging and all. Disable breakpoint. Now this we can say 1001, click on go. Thousand two. Now we will give 1005. Enter valid book ID. So here, what is the difference between the previous functionality and this? Previously, everything the code will be enabled and you can see the code. But here, you cannot see anything. You don't know what is the connection, what is the stored procedure, how it is sending the values to the database. Everything is hidden. Only you know, you can call it, you can receive it, you can assign it. Same as built-in library. We are using Firstly, we used console.write line. We are giving the text. It is showing on a command prompt. And text box values and all. Okay. But here one problem. This library has mainly categorized into different parts. But mainly we can focus on two types. One is private libraries. The other one is shared libraries. This is what we call it as assembly. General term. Technical term, assembly. What is an assembly? A file is in the form of an exe or .dll. If these two extensions are there, that is what we call it as assembly in .NET. So, private assembly, shared assembly. What is private assembly and what is shared assembly? We can see. Already we discussed, can we talk privately? Means no one will come. And can we talk with all? We will discuss, get together, something like that. That is shared. So private means what? A DLL file is within the application. Inside application folder. Now what is shared assembly? Shared assembly, DLL file is in shared location. There's a difference. So every time you want the code again and again, you need to add to every application, and that will be available inside of application folder. But whereas here shared assembly, you are going to keep it in one folder, use it. Example, every application we are using system.data and using system.data.sql client, all built-in namespaces. But those files are DLL files. That files will not going to add bin debug here. There is no system.dll, system.data.dll, and system.data.sql client also. Now here we can observe what is this book library.dll. So what is the application? GUI app. Every time that file has to add it to our application as a duplicate copy. Where is the original project is available? While we are created, we given this is a location, book library, bin debug DLL. So this is the original location, the DLL. Now, as it is, the DLL is copied to another application. So what is this one? GUI app bin debug. That means what is private assembly? Every time this DLL is going to copy to wherever we are using in that application folder. It is somewhat, maintenance problem. Every time you are adding, so memory is going to full. So we are not going to add to here. All libraries are available under operating system, C drive, Windows, assembly. So here all the libraries are available. Now we can create our own libraries, and that libraries also we can add to here. This is called a shared assembly. Now if we can say my library is here, take my library. So once we are going to add, it is giving an error. What is that? Assembly book library.dll is required to be strongly named. Means maybe somebody is also create the same name, book library.dll. But how the operating system can understand that this library is different and that library is different? That is what we call it as digital signature. That is public key token. So every library has a unique ID. So later, maybe the other users can use that books library based on internal classes accessibilities and all. It is going to identify with different key tokens. So now this is private assembly. We can make this assembly as shared. Okay, so understood what is an assembly? A file is available in the form of an exe or DLL. Private assembly, the DLL file is inside an application folder. Shared assembly, DLL file is in shared location. So now the problem is every time the duplicate copy of the file will be loaded to client application wherever we are using. Now we can make that one as a shared. Every shared DLL should have a strongly named. So here we can say this is a library. Now this library has properties. Go to project menu, select property. Now in this particular property, we have here signing. Signing here, sign the assembly. So what it is saying, choose a strong name key file. So here we can select new. Now here we are going to provide new file name. So book library .snk. Any name you can give. SNK represents strong name key. And here we can click on OK. Now that the strong name key will be added to here. Now we can observe the difference between previous and present. Refresh. This is SNK file. Earlier, this file is not available, only class file. Now, SNK file is created. Now, once we double click on this, if you want to open this type of file, while you are modify and all, then it is going to damage your library. So everything it is in converted to binary and some digital signature identification numbers. We cannot understand also. So this is what identification of your DLL. Now once we can build it after creating the SNK file. And then now you can observe here, go to remove this reference. Right click, remove. Now refresh. select references, select add reference, click on browse, select the DLL, add it, now we can observe the difference. Open this particular folder, go to bin folder and debug folder. Earlier we added, right? Visual Studio, Tools, Command Prompt. There, we need to keep this one into GAC. Where is the library? Bin, debug, this library, command prompt, D drive. So now this is a library program debug database that will come. Now this book library we can install into GAC, Global Assembly Cache, GAC, util space -I for installation, -U for uninstallation. Now the library name is booklibrary.dll, booklibrary.dll. So now it is saying that assembly is successfully added to cache. Refresh. Now we can add. Earlier we are not added to shared library. Now we added. Right click, add reference, select browse. Now click on library. Now once we can build it. Observe that the book library.dll is not available here, but it is working. See, it is not raising any error. Now we will check 1000 book ID, click on go. 7, no book. So now that library is not added to local application. Now where it is taking the reference it is taking from depends on the versions. See, what is the library we created? Book library. Once we observe this digital signature, what is this one? MSIL. So Microsoft Intermediate Language. Here processors are different. x86, AMD64, this is processors. Operating system will run or CLR will run. All MSIL related things are executed by CLR, Microsoft Intermediate Language. All these files are belongs to .NET. That files should be executed by CLR. It will convert to EXE. So now here, this is what we call it as shared, same as like this. We used many namespaces which are given by Microsoft, but no one library should be available in our application folder. Everything it is taking the reference from GAC. This is, we call it as GAC or GAC. So how to keep this file here? By using the command call it as GAC util, Global Assembly Cache Utility. See a GAC util space -I for installation. Now the library name, books library.dll. So this library will be installed. Now you want to remove it, same thing we can apply. Here is U. Instead of I, we can assign as U. U for uninstallation. Once you uninstall, it is same as private assembly. Every time it will copy to local application. Okay. So this is how we are going to create a library, how we are going to add that libraries to the current application, how we will use that library and all. Okay. So the top we can assign, and wherever you need it is to create an object, call the method. Other than that, nothing will be visible. But if you want to see at least some couple of logic, there we have a command call it as ILDASM, Intermediate Language Disk Assembler, ILDASM. Once we click on here, it will open one tool. There, go to File menu, open. Now where is the library is available? Under Vinay, Book Library, bin, debug, book library.dll. Click on open. Now we can observe here help, review icons. Keep it aside, and this is a symbol is indicating namespace. So this is a library namespace, and this is a symbol is for class. So what they have written inside, books details class. And here get books we know. So here we can say method, pink color box. This is a method. Get property, set property, integer data type. Now double click on this particular get books. This is CLR related coding. What is the stored procedure they are using? This is a stored procedure, because we cannot open the DLL, but internally by using Microsoft, one of the command call it as ILDASM, Intermediate Language Disk Assembler, you can see at least some more ideas. What stored procedure they used? This is a stored procedure. And what are the steps they applied? One is for connection, second one is command type, and here they are sending one parameter. Now what type of parameter it is giving back to us? Slowly we can understand. Data adapted classes. This is parameter. What is the parameter name? @book ID they are sending. And this is instance, like what data type it is, integer. Now this is end of the get books. The return type data will not going to visible. We can understand data adapter is going to fill the data into data set. So the return type is data set. So here the problem is, even though if you created the DLLs, that is not having fully secure. Anyone can open the DLL, they can understand the code behind logic. So if they have idea on .NET, they can understand that what stored procedure is called and what parameters it is sending and what type of output it is expecting. The remaining code they can build up. So now to avoid this type of insecure, we can use services. That is what we call it as web services. Somewhere else the logic is available, we can use that logic in URL. Okay. So the today's is complete libraries. How to create our own libraries in .NET, how we can use that libraries, and how we can see the code inside the library. If you don't have even the code also, you can use with the help of, you can see with the help of ILDASM. Okay. So is it clear to you? Oh, sorry.